groups?
Okay, so white is to one person. White to whitep is to a whole group of people. That's acknowledging a room of people.
It's
Okay.
usually a P sound at the end, right? White, white.
Uh,
That's the
yes, white.
plural. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bernie. Bernie and
I
I
paid
took,
attention in class.
yes, Bernie and I took Chippeway language
You're
classes.
not saying it right.
Yeah, hold on, hold on.
I just got told.
Yeah.
Yeah, so white
Sometimes
is
that
to
way.
one person. White with a KP at the end is for more than one person. And white to whitep is for a whole room of people, a whole group of people.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Still waiting for Alicia's note here.
Wow.
Recording has started.
Oh, and I believe we are live. All right. So, YTEP, hello, and thank you to everyone joining us in BC or maybe further away. So yes, thank you for joining. My name is Ashley McClellan, and I'm a Kiamuk student recruiter advisor with Thompson Rivers University's Future Students Office. So I just want to take a moment and say that this Facebook Live and Instagram Live is taking place on the traditional and unceded territory of the Tk'emlúps-te-Secwépemc. So we give honor and respect to those who have used this land since time immemorial. I'll just introduce myself a little bit more formally. I'm Yellowknives Dene First Nation, North Slave Métis, and mixed European Canadian descent. So I'm from Acacho territory and proud to now live and work in Secwépemc territory. And now I will begin with a round of introductions for our incredible panelists. So Tina, would you please begin us off?
Sure, thank you. White to Whitep, Tina Matthew and Skokst. I'm from Seunk First Nation. I am the Executive Director for the Office of Indigenous Education. I report to the Provost Vice President Academic and Research, Christine Bovis-Knosson, and I work with all of the deans and faculties on indigenization. I've been at TRU for 2 years, and I just love working with all of the staff across the university and seeing the students succeed in their programs. Yeah, quick stretch them.
Yes, thank you. Maddie.
There we go. I put myself on mute, sorry. Why Quest Isquis Tushlitaku Kintel Spachman. Hello everybody, my name is Tushlitaku. My given name is Matilda Chilhithiya, and I'm from the Upper Nicola Band, which is part of the Okanagan. And I am the Indigenous Mentor Community Coordinator at House 5. I graduated from TRU in 2017. I was a mentee back when I first started. I can't remember, 2011. My mentors were Bernie and Alexa. Bernard Gilbert and Alexa Manuel were my mentors. They took me under their wing, and ever since the program, that's where I met Bernie. I became a mentee or a mentor and stayed on, and so now I coordinate the mentors. So I really believe in the program, and I love working and supporting students, and yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us and all the work you do. And finally, Bernie, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
I originally come from the Tliska Zene. Really honored to be here on Secwépemc outside here in my apartment. The hills back there. So really nice day today. I'm glad to get a little break from the sun. So I'm really glad to be here today with all of you. I work as a supervisor for Indigenous Student Development, which is a part of our faculty student development. So we have colleagues throughout campus, and I work with a staff, of course, with Maddie, who we just met, and also with Denise Dunstan, a learning strategist, and Jason Blair, who's also a learning strategist. So They're part of our staff, including the mentors we have, as well as elders. So I coordinate some of the elder programming for the ones that support students. And I know Tina does some work with elders supporting with faculty and other events on campus. So we're a good group of people that love supporting students, and we're really happy to be part of this panel today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And for mentioning Jason and Denise, because yeah, a lot of, I think we'll get to all the good stuff on how to connect with those folks over at the house. And I'm also going to just introduce a panelist who will be joining us around the midway point. She's otherwise engaged at the moment, but I'm really excited to be able to include Robbie Roblin Davey in our conversation today. So Robbie joined us, pardon me, as an Indigenous Experiential Learning Coordinator in the Career and Experiential Learning Office. So that's our CoOp office, if you're more familiar with that terminology. And I'll let her dive a little bit more into the program that she offers. But if you're familiar with CoOp, it's work experience while you're going to school and you get credit for it. And she's really developing an Indigenous specific program in that space. I'm a huge fan of CoOp, so very exciting. Yeah, so thank you all for introducing yourselves. Hopefully, you know, some students joining with us are maybe from the same places as you, or just, you know, happy to be around familiar or other Indigenous spaces. So I did want to make a little bit of space at the beginning because I'm sure we all recognize that the transition to university life isn't always a straight arrow. Depending on you know, everyone's own unique challenges, and then this year presents its entirely own unprecedented barriers and challenges for those wishing to begin their post-secondary education. So as Indigenous people, we know we are resilient. So this year, this resiliency does look a little bit different, but I personally see in our communities a willingness to stay, you know, stay home, maintain your bubble, follow social distancing. So I just wanted to honor that while this is a difficult time, we're doing wonderful as a people, and I think now we can transition into what exactly that will look like and the steps that you can take as a student to connect with the things that would be on campus normally for you, but are still very much available. So the fall semester, as a new TRU student, I'm wondering if I could ask a couple of our panelists to just situate those who might be watching in what they can expect for the fall for their courses and such. Tina, do you mind starting us off with just a little bit of what the fall will look like?
So thank you, Ashley. As many of you might know, all of the courses at TRU will be offered online, and except for some courses that do require some face-to-face, for example, trades, some nursing and science courses. So there are a couple courses that will be face-to-face, and there's huge safety plans that have to be put in place before anyone sets foot on campus. And that goes for staff, faculty, and students, because we want to keep everyone safe with social distancing, safety plans, and have the campus set up so that people can navigate around and also maintain that social distance while they're training. So definitely from September until December, we have online, or we will be having our courses online, and probably into April as well, as we all know that even if a vaccine is developed, it's going to take a while for a vaccine to be distributed to different areas. So right now we're just taking it month to month, and the best place to visit for the most up-to-date information on what's going on on campus is TRU's homepage with the COVID-19 link. There's a student section for questions and answers, as well as for staff and faculty. I'm also letting Indigenous communities know to check our homepage for staff department hours. There will be some limited office hours and times for different areas on campus, for different services on campus. And the best place to check is the TRU homepage for different departments for the most up-to-date information. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Absolutely. Our website is going to become a go-to spot for any student if it wasn't already. Did any other panelists want to mention sort of what to expect for the fall? Bernie? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Like with that being online, so most of the courses I think are going to be run through Moodle. So make sure to check your emails and make sure to set up your emails, your TRU emails that go directly to your personal email or the email that you use the most. I would suggest something like that because there has been a lot of communication going out to students with emails, and so that's probably the one to think about, how to organize emails. I think all of us staff, we realize after the first couple of months of being a staff that there has to be some sort of system developed. So I would look into that as a suggestion, just because it could get all crowded and you lose track of what the conversations are happening and about what, right? Different parts of your life and your professional life, your school life, personal life, right? So yeah, that's my suggestion. With that, yeah, I would say there's going to be a lot of information that's central to our website. So get familiar with our TRU website. There's a lot of resources on there currently as well, so that every section, every part of our website has COVID, a quick little box or blurb about what services are open and available. So there are some on-campus resources, but before students set foot on campus, they have to go through some training through, I believe, through Moodle as well, just to understand what COVID is, what the best preventative measures are, and also knowing what the safety plans are here on campus. So just heads up for that, and yeah, staff for the most part I think are all available virtually. So that means services are pretty much full swing. It's just a different format. So just to keep that in mind. Yeah, and some on-campus folks there's going to be limited, yeah, with who's on campus and what spaces might be open. So just a couple of pointers there.
Yeah, pretty much. If you're going to go to campus, just toss it into Google maybe first and TRU on the end and see if you can get some information. And also sort of in the vein of what you're saying, email management, definitely a lesson we go through. And I'm not sure if entirely file management, but I do know that the Faculty of Student Development in their office is putting out a lot of resources to help students organize for this year and make those changes kind of quickly, like how to write an email to your professor. They're going to just have a template on the website there. So, your first time virtually communicating with your instructor, that might ease that process a little bit, and hopefully some tips and tricks like email forwarding. Thank you for mentioning that, because my office definitely sees students missing those critical communications. Did you want to also speak to the fall, Maddie, or do we keep pushing?
Yeah, I do want to push for mentors as well, because my mentors have last year were like just this past semester they were on virtually, so they do understand what is going on, and they have a little bit of experience. So if you do have like any questions, or if you guys want just a little extra support, just to talk to someone to say to have that hey, what do you do in this, and or how do you what's the best way to connect with your professors. All my mentors are going to be great in that way. They're getting some training done, but at the same time I feel that they have a lot of personal experience with working online and what to expect for this for this semester. So I feel that, first time students coming into university, I feel that maybe, if you choose, I'm not going to push it, but if you want to choose a mentor, just reach out to me. My email is on the web page. But, just to kind of shine light on that, when I first came into university, I was really shy. I was going to class and leaving. And Bernie and Lex kind of just like grabbed me and said, let's go. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, having that support and having them there really did help me, because it was just that little extra, hey, let's study a little extra longer kind of thing, really helped me. And I seen my grades increase. So I really liked having that peer-to-peer support that they offered, and I felt very comforted. And that's when I really opened up and started to really experience TRU just a little bit more. And this year, my mentors are amazing. I'm really excited to see what they have to offer this semester. I feel like I'm just there to support them. I feel they're going to be running and doing a lot of stuff, so I'm really excited. And if you guys want to know, I'm hoping to get something done to like do a little interview with them, another Facebook Live with them, so people can get to know their faces. It's just a thought. I'm hoping to get that done, but I'm still trying to figure out my mentors because someone left. So so I'm just letting you guys know.
Absolutely. I think you just hinted, because I was going to say, when Elizabeth was able to join me for a panel earlier in the summer, it was so helpful to have someone who was actually going through the transition of virtual learning and speak very candidly about the experience. Yeah, I really appreciated that. I know she's gearing up for a lot more work, so probably doesn't have as much time, but also, yeah, the familiarity of our mentors, because once you know them, you'll see them all over campus. They're active students, they're involved with our committees. Yeah, you can't say enough about your program, Maddie, which is great, because I want to sort of underscore the supports again available for Indigenous students, just in case anyone's joining us who hasn't maybe been to campus or seen any of our promotional info about everything that we do offer. So I think perhaps, Bernie, I'll get you to start as the supervisor of Kpukitan, where a lot of the magic happens, if you don't mind, listing some supports that are available to new to TRU Indigenous students.
Absolutely. I think a big push for some of the programming that we do offer has come from students a lot of times. So these programs and the way we structure ourselves is all to do with students' input, right? And how we can do better and support each other. So our space on campus, is kind of like a hidden treasure for a lot of folks. We have a house, which is, an old, I think it was an army base house or something, an officer's house. We transitioned that into a space, and we call Luchten, which is a gathering place, a space where people, ideas all come together. And we have computer labs, of course, there, and also we had a kitchen and a nice space that throughout the year that students could come by and study in that sense. So with COVID, we're restricted with our our space and our planning for this fall and probably into next year as well. So with that though, we are planning, with waiting for approval, but we're hoping to have our space open for a limited time from 9 till 2 p.m. On campus. But one of the things that people look forward to every year was our weekly soup circle. So we had the idea that we wanted to create a space where people could just come together and who don't necessarily know each other or have had an opportunity to talk to each other, and we gather in a circle and introduce ourselves. So we tell everybody who, what our name was, who our family or where our connections are, and within that, that really builds a nice community so that people get to know one another. And one of my best memories of university is actually, getting to know people. Like Maddie was saying, I was coordinator here for the mentorship program for quite a few years, and that was one of the things I really enjoyed in my undergrad, was that I was able to connect with some of my peers and people that I, looked up to, people who were making it through through the courses and the struggles, and I'm like, how do you guys do this? So, I picked up tips along the way with that respect. So I really encourage folks to connect and in any way. So one of the ways was, the soup circle. We got culinary arts to make our soup for us, and we broke bread with students, and we had elders, lead us off with a prayer and opening. So this fall, we're going to try to continue this tradition here we had at TRU with the soup circle. So we are going live with it. We're going to try to open it up to all kinds of folks that want to join in on these meetings and have a chance to talk and have an introduction. And we are going to try to do a little bit of door prizes as well, maybe even try a few games if anything. But it's just all in good fun, and also to try to stay connected through this pandemic, because it's been a struggle for everybody, and not every meeting needs to have an agenda and all this stuff. Yeah, it could be just a nice time to gather every week. So I'm encouraging people, if you have opportunities, to look at those kind of opportunities to get to know other people on campus, whether it's through Maddie's mentorship program, but also I was thinking like other programs throughout campus. They're hiring mentors and ambassadors as well. So those people are throughout campus and different faculties. So I would encourage whatever faculty you're in, there's probably some peers you can connect with. So um, that being said, studying was a hard thing to do. So if you do need any assistance, the staff are still available, somewhat virtually. Myself and Maddie will probably likely be on campus, and we'll be hosting or holding the space at the computer lab. And so depending on the numbers that of people show up, we have limited numbers and maybe how long somebody stays there. But those signs will be posted, and you just follow the directions there. You can talk to a real person if that's needed. With the elders, we're still trying to, make sure that we have them in a safe space, because we don't want, the vulnerable population, right? So we're going to try to work with our technology to get them connected with students. So we're going to find a couple of different ways. We might even be open up to, developing new programming throughout the semester of what students want and can participate in. So look forward to that. What else do I need to chat about? I think that did that stay on topic as far as I remember.
Yeah, the soup circle is a great one. How can students connect with that? The Facebook page? Is that the best way to
Yes.
check it out?
Well, I think this fall a lot of every student's going to be signed through MS Teams, right? So
Okay.
Microsoft Teams. So we should all have access to that by this fall. I'm hoping, that's what I've been told. So with that, we're going to try to create some groups where we can actually meet all together. So at least bi-weekly, maybe even weekly in the first month, so that students will send out an invite to all Indigenous students. So if you signed off as an Indigenous, you'll likely get an invite to this bigger meeting, and we're going to be there just to host it, just to answer questions and just help people out whatever we need. And and that, should somebody want a one-to-one conversation, we can do this over Blue Jeans or MS Teams as well, so we can have a little one-to-one session if that's what the students were wanting, right? So we're trying to keep ourselves available to students, and hopefully that is we can answer questions quickly if needed. So that should be all rolling out and starting in September 8th, 7th. I think
I think
7th's a
first
holiday.
is the
Yes.
8th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So couple
Awesome.
weeks.
All right. So Indigenous students watching, watch your emails for this opportunity, please. Yeah, Tina, did you have any supports you wanted to underscore that you think a new to TRU Indigenous student should know about?
Just that I think with the transition to online courses, a lot of students may be from smaller communities and living by themselves or with roommates or in a new place, or taking their studies from doing their studies from home where there aren't a lot of supports, like in-person supports, and they're missing their friends. So I think that mental health piece and keeping your mind and your body in a good space is really important for the self-care and looking after yourself, so you're not feeling isolated as you're doing your online courses, and to reach out to your classmates and start a study group within your different classes so that you can move through the course material together and help each other understand. Look to your community that you live in or where you are living and create a support network where you're reaching out to your friends and meeting in a way, if you can, outside doing some physical activity, just to keep your physical health up in your body, right? As you transition to this new learning form or learning style. And yeah, reaching out to Vernie and his staff to connect with an elder so that you can talk with an elder. There, we have a number of different elders available who can just sit with you and meet with you, probably online for now. And just try and link up with different community events. You know, if there's a drum circle happening, you know, try and outside in a big space, try and go to those types of events. The Indigenous market that's happening over at Tecumseh Chissaquam on Sundays. One of our actually through our office, we have a cultural coordinator and who offers cultural events to students. So we're looking at some online events where students can connect and do some really fun activities all throughout the year. So make sure and stay connected with Bernie and his staff and find out what's going on in terms of cultural offerings. That's really important to look after all aspects of yourself, your mind, body, health, and your spirit, just to help you get that support to move through your courses. So there is some provincial counseling available if people are feeling depressed or just really having a hard time transitioning. There are provincial supports through the COVID-19 provincial counseling, as well as the TRU counselors on campus. We have an Indigenous counselor, Ashley Broadfoot, who's available to meet with students. So you just visit the TRU counseling page on our website and you can make an appointment with Ashley, and she's fantastic. And we have a whole other group of counselors available for students. So yeah, there's community counselors, TRU counselors, provincial counselors. We can connect you with a number of different supports. Just reach out to us and let us know what you're needing, and we'll see what we can do and who to connect you with. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Just ask is a sign you will see all over campus. So because you're not there, we will just say it now. If there's something you need, just ask. Robbie, thank you for joining us. Hope it wasn't too tight with your last meeting, but I would love for you to introduce yourself to the group if you'd like.
Sure. Okay. I'm Robbie Davey, and I have Métis ancestry on my mom's side, and English settler ancestry and Canadian ancestry on my dad's side. I have started a new role for TRU, which was kind of incepted to develop more co-op opportunities for TRU Indigenous students, and develop a larger program to connect them with. Connect you guys with positions in community, opportunities to do summer work, internships, and co-op. So we are going to have another co-op awareness session at some point, so I can let you know when that is. Yeah, just to have the co-op coordinators come on. So my position is an Indigenous co-op and experiential learning coordinator. But I would then connect you with the co-op coordinators if you were interested in co-op. So yeah, I don't know if you want me to go into detail about co-op or talk about that later.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because Bernie is showing off his fish, and I'm jealous. Maddie and I were talking about fish.
God, where is your fish?
They were in a cooler there.
Oh,
Yeah, we just got some fish going in here, so we're gonna be doing some canning today. Speaking of
ooh,
traditional activities, so yeah,
yeah.
looking
I
forward.
know I saw one of our previous grads drying fish in
Oh yeah,
yeah,
up
and I was
north,
like, oh,
yes,
that looks
I
good.
know. This is good.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Robbie.
Good to see you guys. Sorry I'm late.
So yeah, we were chatting about supports. So basically, imagine the new to TRU Indigenous student who maybe hasn't had the chance to come to campus or just isn't
Right.
isn't aware of everything that's out there. So
Yeah.
maybe if you want to just reiterate, yeah, how you can support them and how they could connect with you this fall.
Okay, so first year students, I would say if you're new and you're first year, a good thing to do would be to check in with career services and see if there's anything we could support you with that would help you with your academic planning. So academic advisors are one thing, but we could help to anchor that with any job and employment goals that you have or that you might want to discover through our department. So we have Larry Isles and Mitch Luongo that do career planning for students. So anytime you want to meet with them, you can connect with me or you can connect with them directly. So, and I can be in the meeting or support or not. They usually do all the career planning, but I'm there to develop the program around it and support students if they need help signing up with Career Connections. So Career Connections is our database that is just one of those hurdles that we need to use this program to set up appointments with them. So if you need support with that, you can just let me know. It's being revised right now and kind of adding some new things and to make it easier. So if you are in second or third year and you're new to TRU or you're just watching because you just want to remind yourself of the supports, that's a good time to do co-op and enter co-op if you are interested. So co-op, as Ashley knows, supports you with employment opportunities and it can replace some credits in your academic program. So you would basically not take a course, you would take a co-op work term. And in order to do that, you would come and see me, talk to the co-op coordinators in your academic program, and then we can set you up with the application and get you started. There is one course. It's like a 1 credit course that I can send you information on and make sure that that's available for students. But it is a good course that offers a lot of information about how to get yourself prepared for employment, resumes, interview skills, all those different things that we all need when we get out into the work world. And that could be as early as summer for you all if you're going into your programs. So yeah, so second and third year is advised to do co-op. First year, you could start getting ready, thinking about it. We could provide you with information, get you in to have an appointment. So yeah, and I can support you with anything. You can just, if you don't want to go through the steps, I can walk you through them.
Awesome. Yeah, because I just want to highlight that program up and down. I think a lot of people look at it a little bit like more work, and it is a course you have to sign up for, but I think it ends up helping you skip more work in the end. It's a service that you have to pay for career counseling once you are not a student at a university offering that. So taking advantage of that when it's there, I implore all watching to do so. I know we've already kind of spoken to the mentor program, but do you maybe want to maybe give students an idea of exactly what to expect if they reach out to connect with it? Yeah, Maddie.
Well, the mentors, I know we're probably gonna get them to do like after hours stuff. But they actually will be doing a lot of one-on-one or group. It depends on, how many people do reach out for mentors. I know a couple of my mentors right now have mentees just to kind of help support and kind of get them ready for school. So they can do one-on-one or group, discussions, but they're there to support students on, they can sit down and have a little meeting on what to expect or how to study, because most of my most of my mentors are in their third and fourth year, and they understand, what to do and how to go through university, but they also know the supports that are on campus. A lot of them know House 5, but they also know TRU campus, and so they kind of understand how to work their way around. So if you just want to get to know the campus just a little bit more through a student's eyes, they can sit down and just take you like, hey, if you're the writing center, the math help center, this is what we use to help us, the library. I know it's going to be a little bit different this year with everything being online, but they understand that as well, because all of them have been went through the online courses at the start of the pandemic, so they understand what they have to go through, and so they can help give advice basically on what to expect for the semester. So, your mindset and your mental health, because I know sometimes it's a little hard to really discipline yourself to sit down and, get a lot of stuff done when you see a pile of dishes or you see the TV on. So they'll be there to support, but I'm still trying to work out how this mentor program is going to be, but I feel that a lot of them are going to be just doing their own thing and supporting students in their way, and doing programs, because that's basically what it is it's their give back to TRU. And I'm just there to support them as much as I can and in anything that they need. But yeah, it really is a great program. Like, like I said before, I was in it, and I really do believe in the program. I feel that it helped me transition from just going to class and going home to opening up and having that home on campus, because, I came from a very tiny community and I was away from my family. And I feel that that opened me up to more people and more services. And I feel that really helped me step out of my shell to really get to know other people. And I basically have family there now. I still talk to other people, like Vernie. I've known Vernie for like 9-10 years almost. And he's and I bet you would probably be another 9 or 10 years. So I feel that it's just a family-based thing with the mentor program and with House 5, and I really feel that the mentor program helps with that. It's like a big brother program. I feel like they're there, like the big brother, big sister program. That's kind of how I feel it is. When you're in first time university, you're scared, you don't know what to do, you're away from your family, and then these guys come in and they're like, we're here. So that's kind of how I like to explain it. And so I really encourage a lot of first and second year students to really just reach out, and if you just want to talk, just like we're doing right now, if you just want to, hey, I'm having a bad day, I just need to vent or need to talk, my mentors are going to be there for that too. You guys can have coffee, virtual coffee, and sit and talk and work through your problems. They're not counselors, letting you know that's Ashley Broadfoot, but they're just there to just really kind of just get you through the bad day and be like, oh, I feel better. How some people just like to vent, like, oh, I feel better, I feel okay, and let's go through this. Or, I'm having a hard time studying, and they can have the tips like, oh, this is how I study, or, I've heard this way works, and you can use Quizlet or, group study programs. They give advice like that on to how to better improve your studying skills, or how to better improve your time management skills, and stuff like that. So, they're just there for little things like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, Alicia, our magician behind the scenes today, who's making this all happen on Facebook and Instagram, she has a wonderful line about mentorship, that it's someone to ask the stupid questions. And I mean, we also know that there is no such thing as stupid questions. If you don't know, you should be asking someone. But in this virtual space, there's not someone in the seat next to you to go, did that make sense to you? Did you see that on the syllabus? Maybe your mentor can help navigate the world of the institution, because it's its own. Yeah, we've definitely talked about how the fall is going to be virtual. So I know we're kind of shifting back away from the supports, but those will also largely be virtual. So I'm just wondering for anyone who may be out there a little bit concerned about the financial aspect of connecting with the institution virtually, if we can offer any support or information on financial supports available. Bernie, do you want to?
Sure, yeah. Sorry, just before I get into that, I'll just
Yeah.
comment too. Maddie works with all the other mentor programs on campus too, really closely, so she's able to connect folks if the people want to be involved too. I think that's an important piece. You don't have to just be the person, asking dumb questions, as you put it, but it's important. I think it's also giving back too to the community. So it's completing that circle. So I really encourage people to be involved. Also check out the student union, tons of resources as well, and also opportunities to be on boards or governing bodies if you really want to get your voice out there too. So that's an important piece as well. I'd like to just put that out there for people. Um, uh, and there's also, we're all looking for help at some points. Asking asking for help is one of the hardest things I learned to do as an undergrad too, and having that humility to go and ask. But that's where the learning happens. That's what happens, right? If you have those peers that are able to help answer some of those questions or help in that way. The people have a lot of knowledge, and it's not until somebody asks the question that you get to understand a lot more. So with that, talking about help, a big stress for students is financial stuff, right? So we go through. I always ask people after they graduate, oh, it must be nice to actually make money for once instead of spending it all the time. It seems like that's all we do as undergrad or in our university is that we spend the money, right? We pay tuition, we pay for rent, we pay for food, we pay for all this stuff, and we're actually not making any money. And it's very hard for folks, especially, if they have to hold on a part-time job or if they have families, there's a lot that goes into this planning and being prepared. So there are, we keep beating this to death. There are scholarships out there. Some of them don't get claimed because people don't apply for them. And it's a simple thing as that. So there's that route. TRU does offer their own um, scholarships and grants and bursaries that come out every twice a year that they have deadlines for. So watch out for those. I also encourage people to look to connect with one of the staff here. We do have an active list going online as well. I think for scholarships, grants, and bursaries through our page. So you can look at those. They're offered often every year. So there's the yearly ones, and then there's ones that are specific to different programs. So like say business, you guys can connect with Chinook Scholars. That's coming up soon. That's a great program to support students at and also they do workshops with them and offer extra support and training that way. So it's a really great way to network as well. So that also builds your skills later on. The other thing is, the government has the program since 2012, an emergency bursary program that I think nearly every post-secondary institution has. So if you need the help, the assistance, there is emergency bursary programs, both within TRU itself and also one specific that myself and our staff we administer that, and it's supposed to be low barriers. So that's the key. There is a few things. You have to be a current student, so you have to be in your classes or doing classes. So this includes online students as well too. So if TRU online students are in their classes, they can qualify for some of this emergency. You have to clearly identify what the emergency is. We've had crazy things happen over the years, floods, fires. Um, and unfortunately, life does go on in this way, and we do have people passing away, funeral services that, and they come from long ways away, like communities that have to travel, and that costs money. So this is some of the things that the emergency bursary can assist with. Um, it's up to $900 per student from for a year from September 1st to August 31st. So if you want more information, please contact myself or just use the Indigenous at TRU.ca email, and somebody will respond. You need to, it's sort of an in-house burst application, so you need to connect with a learning strategist and go over the application. It's not terribly long, but we just need some information about, how what's happened, right? So we need to make sure that we're being accountable to these funds that they're going to students that are, in need of this. So yeah, so that's another great support service that we offer. So please keep that in mind throughout the year. There was also other work opportunities. I think Robbie, you've been posting a great number of awesome opportunities throughout the year since you started, right? It was mostly work opportunities that Indigenous students can participate in. So um, I would look into that too as well. If your classes allow it and your time schedule allow it, there are some great working opportunities as well as getting experience. So finances are a tough one, and if you need help with budgeting, there's a few folks that have got it down. We all scrape by to to make ends meet, and so a lot of it's the self-discipline, but if there are genuine emergencies and things, there are supports for that too. So I would suggest if you plan early, uh, budget yourself throughout the year. I know it's tough. That's the reality. Sometimes we're very tight with limited with budget, but there are supports. Like the food bank. I actually live right by the food bank over here. So it's a great resource as well. So for people in Kamloops, or if you're in another community, check those out as well. So yeah, and there's other resources, other ways we can work things around as well. If you're struggling, please just connect, just ask. All right?
Yeah. Um, yeah, thank you for bringing up scholarships. One of the most helpful pieces of advice I got during my undergrad, and it was terrifying to hear, but it was 10 hours equals $10,000. So even in the vein of the bursaries, you have to do something to get this money, unfortunately, or fortunately. So the more time you can spend on those scholarship papers or just pouring through what's available in your community for students exactly like you, and there's even more support for that, if you've never written a scholarship essay or you're not sure how to start looking, especially here in the area. So at our Student Awards and Financial Aid Office, we have one of the finance advisors. She works specifically with Indigenous students, so Cheryl Eagle. Also, if you're a sponsored student, you've probably come across Cheryl once or twice. So yeah, if you go to tru.ca/awards, her contact info will be there. Or seagle at tru.ca for more about external funding opportunities or the government scholarships. There's some unique funding available there through the federal government and provincial, actually. So that's all super exciting. Did anyone else want to speak to financial supports?
I'll
yeah.
say one thing. Oh, sorry.
Who's going first? I just have one little pointer I was just going
Yeah,
to
you go
mention.
first.
It gets easier after you do your first couple of scholarships. So make sure to keep the copies of those, because a lot of the different scholarships, bursaries, they ask similar questions. You can use that same information in multiple bursaries. So, I've heard of a few students that have gotten through their undergrad and they've had in their bank, thousands of dollars, like $20,000 after they graduated. So, that takes a bit of discipline and know-how. Like you were saying, that 10 hours could be $10,000. So, that's really key. I think it's make sure you save your work and also like keep a record of all the involvement, and join programs like the mentorship program. That has a scholarship or sorry, an award attached to that as well, coming out in February. So if you would sign up as a mentee, even your name could be could be used, or I don't know how many awards we offer. I think there's three or four. I want to say there's at least four awards that we give out anyways every year. So that that's an opportunity right there. And all you have to do is sign up, talk to Maddie, be involved, and that's a great opportunity. So go ahead, Robbie.
Oops. I just so yeah, I totally agree with you, Vernie. Just saving your scholarship. Like what I did was I had gotten a few scholarships for my graduate degree. So I made a folder and I just, opened the last letter and copied it and then made my changes. Obviously, you want to double check it. You're not sending it to the wrong place, but that makes it easier and it's already a template, right? And started. The one thing I was going to suggest is that Cheryl has, I don't know if anyone said this already, but she has creative ways to even work with the student loan program and then to support you to like pay the loan back. So you're not using it, but you're eligible for the grants. And I don't know exactly how much the grants are, but they have doubled this year for COVID for the year 2021. So take advantage of those. If you have a student loan, you're eligible for the grant, but that doesn't mean you have to spend the student loan money. So she has ways to help you with that, and she's great. The other thing I was going to suggest is co-op seems to be a hard concept to get our heads around. I never did co-op as a student, but the optional co-op program that we do allows you to work and make money. So you're making money that semester and only enrolled in one program and it supports your academic program. So it is worth it and it gives you a break from academics, but still goes towards your academic program. So anyway, if there are questions that you want to talk about or ask, you can contact me. But it definitely is a way to give you some extra money, especially if you're not funded with a living allowance. So that's what I have to say there.
Yes, thank you. Co-op is always definitely an option to make money and keep progressing towards graduation. We are coming to the final minutes of our time together with about 5 minutes left. I'm glad only a couple questions kept us chatting, which means there's just so much for our students. Yes, Tina?
Hi, I just wanted to mention too about the knowledge makers. It's not to do with finance, but in terms of support, Education and Social Work has the Knowledge Makers program, which supports Indigenous students who are in their undergraduate, graduate, or PhD doctoral programs. There is a bursary. Is it a bursary that students can apply for to participate in the program? But you get an amazing amount of support with your writing, with your program that you're in, from the other Indigenous students in the cohort and also the coordinators of that program. So yeah, that's an amazing program for students as you're moving through your educational journey, to have those supports. It's like, yeah, it's an amazing program. One thing I wanted to mention is that when you're a student, sometimes it seems like it's never going to end, and it seems like so much. And you have responsibilities as a student. If you're a funded student, TRU is different in the way that we work with our finance department. So there's a lot of responsibilities for the student as you're going through and sending your funder, your transcripts, and your invoices, your financial information, so that your tuition and books is paid for, or that it's set up with TRU's finance department. So it's really important to be clear on your obligations, but know that in the long run, it's worth it. I think of it as small-term pain for long-term gain, because when you have a certification, a certificate, a diploma, a degree, your master's or your doctorate, like, you are set up for so many more career opportunities, and it opens so many doors like that you would never have imagined. So yeah, it may be hard when you're in it, but there's so many supports at TRU, and it's worth it. It's seriously worth it in the end, for the opportunities available. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Knowledge Maker is wonderful. I'm blown away by that network because I know there's a lot of desire to research Indigenous people. So it's Indigenous people doing that research and students getting that experience. So yes, thank you. And I believe we mentioned a bursary associated with that. We'll also just reiterate, if scholarships are something you're looking at, our Writing Center can also support you in writing those applications. I want to mention, for anyone who's maybe joined us late, or is only catching this last little tidbit, this has all been recorded and will be available on our social pages, so you can come back and re-watch, or if you forget how to connect with the support, yes, please take another peek. Thank you, Cookjam, Masi Joe, to all my panelists. Thank you for taking time out of your day to connect and share this information with students. Yes, lift my hands to you all. Any final closing thoughts or comments? I know all our hearts are going out to our students this year.
Yeah, sure. I was just gonna mention as well too with your fees. So I think there's some changes to your fees. So if you're not traveling to the school, I think you can opt out of the bus pass. So it's a $50 savings, I think, around there, as semesters, I think. And also medical, health, and dental for students, bands, so especially the First Nation students. If you guys are uh, new to TRU, you'll have to opt out of that. It's a $250 bill that First Nations wouldn't be paying that. They don't pay that health and dental. So have a look at the program. If you think it's worth it to keep it, especially if you have children and other dependents, or there's some differences between what you have through your First Nation versus what they're offering through the student union. So there's a button to opt out of that as well, and your name, your carrier name is your band name, and the number is your status number when you're doing that. So just a quick thing. We always have people that are they if you don't pay that fee, you get cut off. You can't access your MyTRU stuff. There's a lot that goes on really quickly if you don't have those that fee cleared up. So yeah, that's my last little tidbit. I appreciate everybody here, and just know that TRU is full of really really kind, good-hearted people that just want to see you succeed and support you along that journey. And we're here because of you, because of your dedication, trying to improve your life, trying to better your life, your family's life, your nation. So if you guys have any or need any assistance, there's folks in this circle that will gladly provide that. So I want to leave that with you guys. I would say.
Yeah. All right. I believe we'll close this session now, and I'll try and include as many links as I can so that students can find all this wonderful information. Thank you again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye.